Welcome to Pride in Parsippany. I'm your host, Mayor James Barberio, and today with me I have Pastor Dr. Stacie Turk from the First Baptist Church on Vale Road. Stacie, you're a woman of many talents. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, thank you for saying that. That's very kind.
And you were my former neighbor.
Yes.
Yes, right.
You're the first person I ever met in Parsippany.
Oh, wow.
In Lake Hiawatha. Yeah. And the very first day I met you, you said, someday I'm going to be mayor of this town.
That's
over
right.
the 3-foot gate. I said,
That's
wow.
right.
Okay.
That's,
and
I
here
remember
we
that,
are.
yeah.
It was very nice. Well, I'm proud to say, first, I'm a mom and
Yes.
a grandmother now.
Oh, wow.
So it's very exciting, and a wife, thank God. And I've done, a lot of different jobs in the past, but I am a pastor, I'm a minister, and I've got several degrees, a good amount of education, which is very needed for my kind of work. I have, when I first, started working at a church a long time ago, I was very interested. I thought I would want to be a therapist, actually.
Right.
And I took a 2-year program in pastoral counseling, and I enjoyed it very much. And after that, the pastor that I was working with, the senior pastor, this was in Ridgewood, New Jersey, said to me, "You'd make a very good pastor. You should go to seminary." And I was like, wow, okay. And I enrolled in New York Theological Seminary in Manhattan, a 4-year program to get my Master's of Divinity, all night school, all part-time while working during the day with 2 little kids.
Right.
Yeah, not easy, but, well worth it. And from then, I did go back for a doctorate in ministry to marriage and family, because by that time I was at my second church, and I was running a preschool program and a certified kindergarten program. And I had moms coming in asking me questions with issues and problems. And I said, I am not qualified. I don't know how to help these people. And I found out about this program at Eastern Theological Seminary, which is now Palmer Theological Seminary in St. David's in Pennsylvania. And I applied and I was accepted, and it's just a brilliant 3-year program. And I enjoyed it very, very much, and it really gave me a tremendous background, in order to help families, help marriages, and of course, in the church, that's exactly what we do, right?
Yes.
So it was very good.
Church is one big family, one
yes.
big community. Yes,
and we are at our church, absolutely. Yes,
I know a lot of the congregants.
Yes, you do.
I know
yes,
Danny.
of course.
Danny's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Talks very highly of you.
Oh, thank you.
So that's. He's a good friend. But before you got God's call, you were a commercial sculptor.
I was.
Wow.
I was a commercial sculptor, yes. I graduated Queens College in New York with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. And I worked with a friend of mine doing the Saks Fifth Avenue Christmas windows and the Lord and Taylor Christmas windows, and making a 100-foot dragon that hung for Chinese New Year's from the ceiling of FAO Shores. I mean, we did a lot of great things. Cabbage Patch Kids, all kinds of display items.
Everybody wanted that.
Yes, yes. So we had a lot of fun, and it was wonderful. But it was actually during one of those days, it was like a hot July afternoon, and I'm there decorating the Christmas trees that will be in Lord and Taylor in the windows, and I, for Christmas, and I'm saying, I'm supposed to be doing something else. I'm supposed to be really helping people.
Right.
And I decided that day I would call the pastor of the church that I just began attending in Ridgewood. My oldest daughter was 5 at the time. And I called him up and I told him, I need to do something. I know I need to do something else. And he invited me out to lunch, and at lunch he offered me a job at the church to run the children's ministry. I said, I can do that. I was brought up in the church. I said, I can surely do that. And the rest is kind of history. He's the gentleman who told me, you'd be a great pastor, you should go.
Wow, that's great.
Wonderful.
like I know you do the Playhouse, and I learned
Yes.
about it during the street fair that we had
Yes.
in Parsippany, and it's I just want to read here, which is a free drop-off play group program
Yeah.
for children with autism and their siblings, which you had the booth at the festival.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything like this program, in that I know of in the area.
Yeah, I don't think so,
Right.
actually. And I began Playhouse in 2008. I had been at the church for 3 years as pastor. And it was very interesting because autism is a subject very close to my heart and to my family's heart. My niece is 18 now and is on the spectrum. And so this is something that I really understand a lot about, and the needs of families with special needs children and children who do have autism and the challenges that these families face. So one Sunday after church, a family had come in and they were attending regularly. And I said to the woman, I said, tomorrow I'm going to a lecture on autism. She said, oh, so am I. And I said, you are? It wasn't the same lecture.
Right.
I said, what do you do? And she said, oh, I'm studying to get my master's in speech and language, education and pathology to work with special needs children. I said, we've got to talk.
Right.
Because in my heart, I was hoping that somehow, things would unfold, that we could do something as a church to help children on the spectrum. From living in Parsippany, I had lots of friends, and many, they have children with special needs. And one of the desires that they had hoped for would be to have a social skills group. And I talked to my sister about it, and she said, you have to help these families. I said, we're going to do it. So Karen Hall, who is the woman from our church, and I created Playhouse. And she knew of a integrated playgroup model that was created by a woman, Dr. Pamela Wolfberg. And so Karen drew on this model, and it's actually a playgroup, a social skills group that has children on the spectrum integrated with typical developing peers. And so they come together, and it's very structured, and we encourage them to interact, to play together. The children on the autism spectrum, share and are encouraged to speak, and the typical developing peers actually gain awareness and empathy and compassion, So
Right.
for children with special needs, and it's a win-win all around. So we're very pleased, that we can offer this to Parsippany.
I can imagine your love for it, because my wife, she's a teacher, and that's her spectrum. She teaches autistic children, special needs, and I get to see firsthand. There's a lot of difficulties in it.
Yes.
There's also a lot of emotions wrapped up in it. I know when she gets through to a child, it makes her soul fulfilled, and
That's it.
And it's definitely those types of teachers like that, and I might get emotional. That's a calling from God, because it's I could never do what you guys do, and it's amazing. It truly is amazing. But how can people avail themselves to your program?
Well, they can certainly go on our website. It's www.fbccparsippany.com. And all our information is on the website about Playhouse. I just want to stress, you do not have to be a Christian to come to Playhouse. This is something that we do. It is a purely volunteer work on our behalf, and we just want to help as many families as we can, and it's open to everybody.
Now, is there an age limit for the kids?
Yes, we accept children from 3 to 11 years old. Okay. So it's really the preschool and elementary school age children.
And how many people do you have on staff?
Well, we have Ms. Karen Hall and myself, and we have 2 other women from our church who help out.
Okay, and you answered the question. Must have been members of the church. No,
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Well, we do that because we know these women very well.
Right.
And they are trained, and they volunteer. It's on their hearts too to help in a big way with these children.
I mean, and this is something I would probably even ask my wife. How do you build a rapport with, or a relationship with these children that are autistic?
Well, it's all about compassion and love and caring, right? It's how would you build a relationship with anyone?
Yep.
These children are no different in that they are very receptive to love and understanding, and many of them, honestly, are very gifted in being able to give love and be compassionate in their own way. So it's just a very special group, and we do have children from our church who volunteer as well, and come and provide a socialization with the children. They play games with them, so they would model, good behavior in a sense. They would model positive behavior for the children on the spectrum, and help them, encourage them to speak and answer, encourage them to take turns, encourage them to maybe wait,
Right.
It's just really, as adults, we're there simply to facilitate and guide the process of the children interacting and socializing.
Right.
And that's what we want.
And that's the whole big thing, the socialization,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yep.
Because that's a skill. That's what's lacked,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes. For many of them, but I will say that most of the children in our program are social.
Right.
So they are verbal. Let's say that's the proper term. They're verbal. So we do not have anyone who is too aggressive or oppositional in our program.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So how many you have? Are they like classrooms?
No, it's actually in our one. We're a very small facility
Right.
at our church. It's just in our main hall in Bell Hall, and we have 2 tables set up, and we really gather around the table. We can have as little as 3 children, and once a month, and we can have up to like 7, 8, or 9 children around the tables, and that's for us that's a full house.
Right.
and very exciting. Yeah.
Do you have like a maximum that you take, or?
That's a great question. I would think probably about 10 would
Yeah.
be, because we have, as I say, we have 4 adults, and then we have other children there. Yeah, I would say 10.
And then is there a cost involved?
No.
Oh, no cost involved.
No
Oh,
cost.
That's great.
All right, this is something, again, for these families, it's a challenge.
Yes.
All right, it's a challenge on every level. And I know from my sister's family, it's a challenge economically as well. So when we presented this to the church, I said, look, there's no charge for this. We are not charging. And everything, the games that we get, there have to be special interactive games. We did get a grant a while ago, and we were so grateful for that $250. So Karen Hall was able to buy, these wonderful games, and for snacks, we provide all that. Snacks, craft materials, it's all voluntary. Yeah.
Now, do you have any plans to expand in the future?
Well, we've talked about that. And of course, if we got more children and families interested, I think we could obviously not go to a larger group.
Right.
But we could, if everyone was willing, and I would hope so if there was a need, we could do it again, like on another weekend.
Right.
So Playhouse now is done on the 3rd Saturday of every month, only from September through May. All right, we do not do it in June or in the summertime.
Right.
So September to May, we do it the 3rd Saturday of every month from 12:30 to 2 o'clock. It's only 90 minutes. But, you know, the other goal of our program was to give parents of children on the spectrum time, precious moments, right? So if they are comfortable with us, and many of the parents are after they get to know us, their children get to know us, it's designed to be, if the parents like, a drop-off group. Right. So parents can come, we take in their children, we keep them very busy and safe, and they get to enjoy 90 minutes, which, you know, for many of it doesn't seem like, not much, but as parents, right, 90 minutes, you take a nap, go get coffee, do your grocery shopping, whatever you like. And that is, that's again something important to us, and I understand that from my sister and many of my friends. It's just precious time.
Yeah, so you lived it, you've seen it, you know, firsthand.
Yes,
so
we do.
You have a real good understanding of it. Can you just give me an example of the interactions that you do have?
Sure. Well, the children come in and we give them, everything is very structured, right? We give them about 15 minutes of free play time. And that, of course, is all, you know, given for, you know, the games are out, they play with each other, they choose what they like. And then we have about, I would say, 20 minutes or so of structured play group. So we will have games that encourage them to communicate. And this is so important. So, you know, Miss Hall might read a story and then ask a question. You know, who would like to answer, you know, and we try to encourage everyone to speak. And then we have crafts about, you know, topical themes, like if it's Thanksgiving or back to school, or, and they enjoy that. They love to play bingo. So we, again, you know, one time we had a child come in and didn't seem to, you know, kind of mix well with the children. We were setting out the bingo cards and the colored, you know, little, you know, the little bits that they put on. I don't play bingo. What is, you know, the chips, the colored chips, So we gave every, you know, child some colored chips, and this child just didn't seem to be attentive. And one of our women said, you know, who'll be our caller today? And the little boy said, oh, I will. We were all, you know, yes. So he, you know, he got involved, and, you know, it's those small moments like that, which to other people may seem, you know, everyone can call, but not really, you know. So for us, we were just overjoyed. And it's those moments, you know, that we say, yes.
I remember when, a few years ago, I went to my first group home. In Hanover, because we were bringing some group homes into Parsippany. And it's not so much the interaction's wonderful, but it teaches them about everyday life and how to interact. And when I went to the one home in Hanover, I got real emotional because I was, and these couple, they were a couple now, and I will never forget. It's from the Rose House, and I'll never forget that moment. I stepped in there. I saw the need, for probably the first time as a mayor, the need to help out those individuals that are special needs, autistic, and by doing what you're doing, I get it. I mean, they're interacting not just with themselves, they're interacting in an environment where, you know, they get to communicate with one another, and I commend you for that, because it's. I know I get emotional just going into a place you work.
Well, it is. You do get emotional, and I think one of the most profound things that I heard one of the moms say to me was that Playhouse is a judgment-free zone. And I thought, wow, you know, I mean, God willing, our church is the same, you know, but that's what we want. We want, when these families come in, that, you know, no one's looking at their child, or no one's questioning their parenting skills or abilities or their child's abilities. We're just there helping, enjoying, and doing whatever we can to support the families and the children, and helping the other children in our church too. You know, learn compassion and empathy, because these children grow up, you know, and again, what is ahead for them? You know, there are very limited group homes.
Right.
As you know, these children age out at 21, and what will happen to them? And so, you know, it's important for us to start now, right where we are.
Right.
And of course, I would love for other churches, you know, to do whatever they can to help.
Right.
Through our denomination, I taught some training sessions for the church leaders and officers of New Jersey with Karen Hall, and in hopes that other churches would pick up our idea and offer it to their churches. Some have, and this is very exciting because you know what, autism is everywhere, and we really need to help these families and open up our hearts.
Right.
To
I have to tell you, Stace. Well, first of all, our program is ending, but you are very emotional and you're attached to this. It's so obvious.
Well,
so that's definitely a calling from God. I mean, and I know you for years, and so I will say this: it's definitely in the right hands at the Baptist Church, because you're a phenomenal person.
Thank you.
And the reason why I'm getting emotional is because I see it when my wife goes through every day.
Yeah.
And when she gets through to a child, it means so much to her, and it means, you know, it's a blessing. But that being said, I want to thank you for being on the program, and there's probably more we could talk about, but that'd be for another time. But I do want to congratulate you. I have to, because Stacie's daughter is one of the state champions and national champions in the Parsippany High School marching band. So that was a great.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
And I do apologize for my voice, but it's allergies, and I want to thank you for tuning in to Pride in Parsippany. Until next time, God bless you all.